May it please the court, my client is Daniel Weisman, a resident of Providence, Rhode Island, a tax-paying citizen and a devoted father to Deborah Weisman. The issue for this case arose when a rabbi was invited to speak at his daughter's graduation ceremony. On several occasions, my client approached the principal, Robert E. Lee, and asked if he would alter the plans to have the rabbi speak. He was denied this request, and as a result, his daughter suffered profound psychological harm resulting from the words uttered at that ceremony. After the ceremony, Weisman appealed to the Supreme Court. Although his daughter continues to suffer from this event, my client is arguing to protect the rights of future children that they might be shielded from such harm. As you know, this country has a history of fighting for our religious rights, yet it is also a right to have the freedom to choose not to assign oneself to a particular set of religious beliefs. The Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, for instance, states, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The states have sovereignty to navigate issues differently, but the states often fail to consider that the psychological development of a child does not equal that of a fully developed adult. The law of Providence, Rhode Island allows religious groups the freedom to speak at ceremonies like Deborah's graduation. According to Cornell Law Institute, for many years it has been the policy of the Providence School Committee and the superintendent of schools to permit principals to invite members of the clergy to give invocations and benedictions at middle school and high school graduations. Additionally, it has been the custom of Providence school officials to provide invited clergy with a pamphlet entitled Guidelines for Civic Occasions, prepared by the National Conference of Christians and Jews. The guidelines recommend that public prayers at non-sectarian civic ceremonies be composed with inclusiveness and sensitivity, though they acknowledge that prayer of any kind may be inappropriate on some civic occasions. When the rabbi got up to speak, Deborah felt pressure from her peers and those in the audience. She felt convicted and indoctrinated. She could not sit down in defiance while others were standing. She could not choose to opt out of this important life event. Clearly, Deborah and other children her age have not developed psychologically enough to navigate this clear religious indoctrination. The state of Rhode Island allows for prayers at ceremonies. However, it must be recognized that a graduation is a life event, and one that consists of young and easily influenced students. Students of this age should not be considered equal with regular adults, so the state law must be questioned. Under any other circumstances, one might be able to simply leave if one felt uncomfortable, but these students would not have been able to do that during a graduation ceremony. Again, there was also the social pressure. My client believes that his daughter Deborah, along with other students who attended the graduation ceremony, has suffered psychological harm due to the presence of said rabbi. His presence there caused psychological harm and even trauma due to the fact that the students who attended the ceremony were all young and easily influenced. They may have found themselves unable to leave or avoid the situation due to it being an important life event. My client's daughter, Deborah, for example, may have felt that she unwillingly participated in a religious experience and that she was unable to escape. Deborah feels that she was compromised and that her conscience was violated. Additionally, we feel as though the presence of the rabbi imposed on Weisman's and other students' religious rights, and that, in doing so, the school was imposing on the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. In particular, we feel as though the presence of said rabbi imposed on my client's ability to freely exercise in the midst of what can be said to be a religious gathering. Thank you, Your Honor. We rest our case.